What is up, Buff Nation? Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We're presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. And I'm joined by my great buddy, Andre Simone.
That's right. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing well, man.
Yeah?
There are a lot of people in Buff Nation freaking out today.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people nervous.
Yeah?
I think I'm doing all right. Not bad. Pretty cool.
You're just happy to have a normal weekend.
I was.
Not having to be in a random Pac-12 city with Alyssa and Rhino.
Yep.
That's great. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, apparently some stuff happened around Buffs World this weekend. Who would have thunk it?
I mean, when doesn't stuff happen in Buffs World?
But thankfully, no one's overreacting. Everyone's having real measured takes.
That would be nice.
No, come on.
I don't think that's the exact landscape of it all, but we'll talk it through. Everything that's happened basically since we had a wild show on Friday too, and things have gotten pretty crazy.
Yeah,
the portal's open, Dre. It's time.
With a bang.
It's time.
Yeah.
The quarterback market is going absolutely insane right now.
Yeah, bananas.
We've had multiple top 10 teams who have starters enter the portal.
Yep. How many of these are getting $1 million just to sign, as Matt Rule claims, I wonder, huh?
I don't know. It depends.
Does it stop at Grayson McCall?
Is he worth $1 million?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Where do you draw the line? I think Cam Ward actually might be.
Is worth first half of the season, Cam Ward might be worth $3 million. Second half of the season might be worth $30,000. Which again, like in college, I'd take $30,000.
Put some respect on Cam Ward's name, bro. Come on.
Dante Moore on Bind the Up said, yes, worth $1 million. Definitely Riley Leonard worth $1 million.
Yep. Where are we at with Kyle McCord? The quarterback for the at once #1 team in the country this season.
6 figures, yes. $1 million, no.
I think you're spot on.
Seems
there.
excessive.
You're spot on there.
Will Howard, I like me some Will Howard from Kansas State. Again, I think that's more of a 6-figure player.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we've identified him. This kid who's going from Georgia to Kentucky, he's a former Brock Vandegrift.
Yes.
I bet you he got $1 million, but I'm not. Jury's out. Can't comment one way or the other on that. Former 5-star though.
Basically, what I'm hearing from you is there's no Shador Sanders in the portal.
Definitely not. Dylan Gabriel, I'd throw him $1 million, I guess.
I mean, that's the guy we were going up against for the Dime Time nickname. I'm just saying.
What happened to Venables? I thought he was so good about giving his guys a year and like he was real patient. Venables, what happened? Dylan Gabriel's leaving? Come on, buddy. Know. Oh man, Venables. I thought you were so different.
You know what happened? Reality happened.
Sad. I thought there was one coach with integrity left in the sport. Damn it. Oh,
no.
Oh.
All right, let's get down to it then.
Let's do it.
4 Buffs have entered the portal since we were last live on this here platform in front of the people. 3 of them were starters.
Yeah.
Van Wells, center, started every single game 2 years ago. Started every game, I think, but one this year. Got hurt in the last game against Utah as well.
Yep.
He's out. Anthony Hankerson, probably my favorite returning buff from 2 years ago's teams.
Big Hank.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's out. Kason Wiseman, someone that you weren't necessarily familiar with up until about 15 minutes ago.
I'll admit. Yeah.
Well, I can't blame you because freshman quarterback came in, I think, late in the offseason. Was a Sean Lewis guy. He's out. He's hit the portal.
Bye, Kason.
Michael Harrison. This one.
Mikey called game.
He did. He tried to.
He did. Yeah.
Well, it's not game yet. He still thinks he has 1 more year left in him.
Right.
Because he went through the whole
senior day
thing.
Yeah, this senior day.
He's was out of eligibility at Colorado. He's hit in the portal, assuming he's a grad transfer.
Mikey wants his master's.
Mikey does want it. He also wants a scholarship.
Oh,
could someone get the guy a scholarship?
Give Mikey a scholarly. Come on,
please.
Damn it.
Come on, man. He deserves it.
It's true. It's true. We're pro Mikey over here.
With that being said, There are now 3 players left on the roster from the 2022 squad that were on scholarship.
Lay it on me.
First and foremost, Louis Passarello.
Yep.
A guy who we thought was going to be the starting tight end for this team.
Yep.
For a lot of last offseason. Went down with an injury. I don't think we even saw him this year. Carter Edwards plays on the offensive line.
He's in the mix.
He's in the mix. He's on the roster.
Come on, Carter. We believe in you. And then I know this one. Trevor Woods. Let's go. Yes. Trevor stays or goes. Just gut feeling. This isn't a report. He's not reporting. You can't aggregate this.
Gut feeling.
2 buddies talking.
I want to say he goes.
Yeah, no, your hesitation kind of says it all. Yeah.
But,
no, I got you, brother. Yeah.
So
maybe a place where you can play a true strong safety role, not getting moved around.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a safety my whole life, I guess he played linebacker in high school. Either way, he got moved around quite a bit.
He does good in that hybrid role.
Yeah, I didn't think he played bad at all.
No, I like it.
The chat wanted his head multiple times this year.
Chat, come on.
So there it is. That's the latest update on the current roster. That now brings the Buffs to 7 portal entries.
Let's go. Let's free up those Scullies. Come on now.
Those 4 guys join Owen Carey, who also entered the portal over the weekend. He was one of the guys. He started some website to help tell the truth about college recruiting or something.
Whoa.
He was kind of, I don't know. I don't know if they use that Scully rule to take away his scholarship and basically get him off the roster before the season, but he hasn't been with the team. So now he officially enters the portal. Tank,
Shout
of course.
out to his website, though.
Yes. Tank, of course, entered the portal.
Tank, yes. We can never
Marvin
forget.
Ham, we talked about as well, and then
Yeah.
Caleb Fourier. So 7 total portal entries at this
Okay,
point.
that's great.
That's where
How
we're
many
at.
Scullies? What's Scully count?
That's a great question, bro.
Yeah, how
honestly.
many DMs do you have on Twitter that you haven't got back to yet, asking you for the
There's a
Scully
lot of DMs
count? Oh,
that
gosh.
I got to respond to. But
I want to say this puts them almost at 20 open spots now.
we've got plenty of space.
Love that.
Just factor in these guys. I guess only 5 of them, because Michael Harrison was out anyway. You already factored him into the attrition.
He was also a walk-on, yeah?
Yeah, and he
So
was not on
doesn't-
scholarship.
Right.
And then
doesn't
Owen
count on
Carey
that.
wasn't really with the team.
He wasn't.
So that leaves 5, plus the however many Coach Prime rolled over from last offseason, the 7 to 10 that he said that they had, plus just, I don't know, your guys like Levante Bentley, Zay Weaver, who are moving on.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of open space to work with here in terms of scholarships moving forward.
That's huge. Need numbers to operate with right now.
We've got plenty.
Okay, good.
We're in
That's
a
what
decent
we
spot.
want. That's what we want.
All right. I guess the other big story of the weekend, though, Coach Nick Williams.
Coach Nick Williams. One of our favorites.
I think one of everyone's favorites who followed this program.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a very young coach, brought a lot of passion, enthusiasm, was a pretty good recruiter.
Yep.
And we'll get into the whole recruiting aspect of this, but he's out. He's moving on to Syracuse to coach the same position, defensive ends.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about all this?
How do I feel?
Yeah, what's your read?
I'm fine. This happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Coaches move around. His buddy, I can't remember, just got hired to be the head coach at Syracuse, former Georgia, I think defensive coordinator, some coach up there. And that's where Coach Williams comes from. Coached at Georgia for quite a while. That's where he joined CU from. So he spends the 1 year with Coach Prime, who he said he really wanted to work with, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Prime said he would give him an opportunity many, many years ago. That opportunity came up last year. And now he's just going on to something else. Good luck, Coach Williams.
It seems like an obvious fill-in as Warren Sapp coming in to fill in as a D-line coach, and that's been talked about a lot already in some ways. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he's posting pictures with John Gruden, watching film, his former NFL head coach.
That's right.
So
Super Bowl.
he's getting coached up to be a coach.
Love that for
Apparently,
us.
he's going to get his degree or has his degree. So
Okay, good.
there's the obvious fill-in replacement. But again, this happens at every school,
Yeah.
every offseason.
Yeah, it does.
There's always coaches shuffling around. It is what it is, man. Don't get too upset.
And I mean, honestly, with how college football's going, a lot of these top programs, this is especially something you need to deal with, is just a lot of turnover consistently year in, year out. I think it's what hurt Clemson the last few years. You know, everyone talks about the recruiting and Dabo not adjusting to the transfer portal. I think losing Venables, losing his offensive staff that's gone off to be head coaches and stuff, that lack of continuity has really hurt him. So having a staff that kind of already operate in, okay, we lost the guy, we can replenish, just as an Alabama would year in, year out, is not a bad thing. And I just think that's going to become more and more common.
Look, man, this is, if you're going to want to be a top-of-the-line program, you're just going to have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah, these are big program problems.
Yes, if you are a good program, if you are a successful program, you're going to have coaches that just move on for either better opportunities, similar opportunities to coach with their friends. That just means that you have the reach to bring in good coaches that other programs want.
Right.
And we know this about Coach Prime, that his network within the football just world is massive. So he's going to...
Unrivaled in some ways.
Very many ways.
And revered within that world in ways that I just have not seen others be revered.
Literally like beyond our comprehension type of stuff.
No, absolutely.
So this is going to happen.
Fran Brown, head coach at Syracuse, by the way.
There you go.
Nick Williams' friend you mentioned.
The comments are saying Prime said it was Louisville. He did say that. Well, Coach Williams tweeted out, I don't know, earlier today.
He tweeted out a graphic with the S, and I presume that was Syracuse.
That stands for Syracuse.
It wasn't the greatest graphic, so you never know. But
I mean, he's probably taken a downgrade.
In terms of
graphic teams, yeah.
Sorry, guys. So
I mean, we've seen the CU graphics, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. They're great.
They do great work over there.
They do.
So there you go. Now let's talk about this from a recruiting aspect.
Okay.
But first, shout out to our friends.
Let's go. Yes.
Over at Breckenridge Distillery.
Woohoo.
Guys, come down to the DNVR bar. Enjoy some Breckenridge Distillery spirits with us. We also got their Riki seltzers made with Breck spirits. Have you been on the Riki game?
No, I haven't. Woo. But boy, I hear nothing but incredible things.
I mean, they're nice. They can be dangerous though at the same time.
Oh, they go down good punch, and they pack a punch. Wow, you love that.
Absolutely. But Breckenridge Distillery is the world's highest distillery, founded in 2008. Most widely known for their blended bourbon whiskey, a high rye mash American-style whiskey. You can also check out their Broncos Blizzard. That's the new vodka commemorating the first white alternate Broncos helmets. Breckenridge Distillery products are available in all 50 states. Shop your local retailer or visit BreckenridgeDistillery.com for home delivery of award-winning Breckenridge spirits.
Do it.
And then our great friends over at Game Time. Woo! Wherever you may be, whatever you're interested in.
Yeah.
Game Time's got you covered. College football is pretty much done.
But find yourself a bowl to go to.
Yeah, if you want to go to a bowl game, wherever you may be, check out Game Time. Also Nuggets games, Avs games, all that good stuff. Concerts, events.
School of Mines, they're in the D2 playoffs. You can find a game up in Golden. Yeah. How about some college hoops?
Yes.
Why not?
The Buffs.
Yeah.
Pretty nice win yesterday, too.
Take a Tinder date to a show.
There you go.
You moved to Denver 2 years ago. You know, you couldn't see a lot of live concerts. You have yet to go to one. Who knows? Maybe this is the off season. It happens for you.
There's some that I've got circled that I want to make.
Hell yeah! We'll Game Time's got you covered. If you ever decide to pull the trigger, they're ready. At sign up, $20 off when you use our code DNVR. Incredible.
Or code Buffs, BUFFS.
Boom, even better. No, use that one. Use that one. Yes.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code Buffs, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code Buffs for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right. So on to the recruiting aspect of things.
Yes.
It's no secret. Coach Williams was obviously one of the Buffs' youngest coaches, and it doesn't always work out that way, but he just is able to really relate to these kids and was one of their best recruiters.
Yeah.
So the guy that we've heard a lot about, we talked a lot about, KingJoseph Edwards. He was being recruited by Nick Williams and CU.
Yeah.
The news comes out, and he cancels his official visit that was supposed to happen this weekend. Why? Because his primary recruiter is no longer at the team. He posted a top 3 also over the weekend. Syracuse was in there and FSU along with CU. Now he's...
So CU's still in the mix.
They're still in the mix. They made the graphic.
They made the graphic.
But he's going on an official visit to Syracuse now.
Okay.
So you can
changing his priorities a little bit.
You can kind of see how things worked out.
Yeah.
But it's all not bad news on the recruiting front for the Buffs. We did host, or CU did host, 2 blue chip prospects this weekend. And one of them's an offensive tackle, Dre.
I love it.
Would you believe it?
Yes, it's a great thing.
His name, JacQawn McRoy. We talked about him earlier in the week. Current Oregon commit. This kid is massive, Dre.
He's humongous. Also went viral for having a Tavondre Sweat-like touchdown.
Yes, he did.
Just big boy out on the edge, bouncing off guys.
Trying to pull up what he said here.
Yeah.
Because he spoke to Steve Wiltfong about his visit. He tweeted out pictures today from his visit. He was in front of the wall. Do you know what that means?
Tell me.
The We Comin' wall with Coach Prime's signature on it. I mean, pretty much means we come.
Yeah, we coming. Yeah.
So
that's saying something right there.
He said about Coach Prime and his visit. Really, Coach Prime was what brought him there. He said he's pretty straightforward. He said, you want to go to the league, he's going to treat you how you need to be to go to the league. I like that. It's a nice program. They need O-linemen. And said that he's really trying to play early and get developed. He's from Alabama. And he said it's about neck and neck moving forward between the team he's committed to, which is Oregon, and now Colorado.
It's not much of commitment, Jake.
I mean, it's funny because this is the stuff Coach Prime was talking about.
Man. Wow, that's loosey-goosey right there. Okay.
I mean,
but you love to see it.
Look, and people already on Twitter have been like, oh, well, this is what Coach Prime was talking about. Like, and now he goes and does the same exact thing. It's like, yeah. Why wouldn't you play the game if they're going to let you at this point?
That's what he's saying. These commitments mean nothing.
Yes.
It's like silly that we even commit.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, he's just playing the game. So JacQuan McRoy came on a visit.
Let's go.
I think it was an official visit, actually.
I would love this kid. I would love that size in the trenches here. Would love to steal him from Oregon. Boy, they sure target size at the offensive tackle position.
Yeah, no doubt. Not only him, though.
No. Who was the other one?
Drelon Miller. This is, I believe, a top 100 recruit. Yep. 64th overall recruit, actually. 14th overall wide receiver. He was committed to Texas A&M for most of the season.
But
Jimbo ended up decommitting.
He gone.
He out of there. He said on his visit, I had a great time in Colorado, got a chance to catch some snow and bring my family up. Just talking about being recruited by Coach Bartoloni, the relationship and how much of it is a family is what I love about Colorado so much. He's down to CU. LSU's a factor. The Aggies are still in the fold as well. But another premier playmaker, really, in the mix for Coach Prime and the Buffs.
Love that. The Aggies are still in the mix means that monetary offer they made me earlier, I'm trying not to give that up.
Maybe.
That's my interpretation. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what's going on over there?
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
All right.
That's it, huh?
That's it for recruiting right now. I'm sorry. There's actually a Jordan Seaton thing. I haven't watched this video with, but On3 Director of Recruiting Chad Simmons spoke to Jordan Seaton about which schools are standing out in his recruitment right now. Quote, I would go with Oregon, Ohio State, and Tennessee.
Standing out in his recruitment.
That's what he said. He had a top 7. CU was in there.
Yep.
He went on the official visit to Ohio State. That was the news. He had us held hostage over.
Yep. That was rough.
But it's all right.
But that's who stood out.
That's what he said.
Has he done a Colorado visit? He did earlier.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So that's where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think he's put out a commitment date. So we wait. We continue to wait.
Patiently. What was the good news in the next 7 to 10 days? 3 to 10 days? We're kind of at day 10, aren't we?
We've yet to find out.
We have yet to find out.
They're working over there.
Okay. No, I know. I know. Unlike Ryan in full off-season mode, they're working over there.
Yeah, the season ends and he's just like, I'm just going to go travel.
See you later. Love that guy.
Yastrzemski says stood out equals money, money, money. I mean, it could. Who knows, though?
Yeah.
This is one of the top recruits in the nation. I think everyone is vying for...
You have, like...
Yeah.
Guys like this, there's very few out there.
Guys, Nick Williams is going to Syracuse, I promise. All right. Shout out to our friends at Hero Bread.
Yeah, I mean, it's his tweet. I'll find the tweet so Alyssa can pull it up.
Please send it.
Hero Bread, though. Oh, what a good time.
Yeah, shout out to Hero Bread. If you are thinking about starting a diet now with the holidays season in full swing, check out Hero Bread. It's the best way to keep bread in your life while also watching carbs. Goodness.
Oh, wow.
But the bread is amazing. They've also got the tortillas that RK swears by.
Yeah.
I think they've got buns as well. So they got all kinds of good stuff. Right now, you can go to hero.co and save 10%. Use that code DNVR and you get 10% off your first order today. And then shout out to our friends at Circa.
Yes, Circa.
You love Circa. Have you been?
No, I haven't. I'm always like Dad left behind to make sure the fort is
Someone's got to make sure the building doesn't burn down.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys get to have all the fun. It just is amazing. I mean, stadium swim sounds like my actual heaven.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about it because stadium swim is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
4,000 person capacity. It's got a 143 by 40 foot LED screen.
My goodness.
Yeah. We've also got one of the coolest sports books in Vegas. Over 500 rooms, 7,000 square foot casino with 2 levels. If you're heading out to Vegas for the Broncos-Raiders games, we got the Broncos crew heading out there to celebrate the Broncos season finale.
Got an amazing trip planned out. Go check that out.
Avs Knights, Pac-12 or Mountain West alum for the final Pac-12 tournament ever.
Man.
We'll be out there. Book your stay with code DNVR20 and you can get 20% off as well. Also, check out their sportsbook. It's available in Colorado. The Circa Sportsbook is live. Download it now at circasports.com. Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
Boom.
All right, let's talk about the portal.
Please.
First, though, thoughts on the playoff, FSU being left out?
It's messed up, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's exactly who I would have put in. I don't know how you can leave out an SEC champion. And honestly, I think it's pretty messed up. Georgia gets left out, 29 game unbeaten.
I know.
You lose a game by 3 after a perfect season, perfect regular season, and you can't get one of the 4 spots. I mean, really rough. But Texas having scheduled Bama and beaten them at Bryant-Denny Stadium is all the difference.
Yep.
And it's messed up by FSU, but that schedule, the ACC, was just a little too weak this year, and the injury got him. I mean, if the injury is not a thing, it's not even a combo.
I know.
You know,
I feel for them.
Oh, it's terrible.
I think it was the right decision at the end of the day.
I think so, too, and here's the thing. They're going to get destroyed by Georgia in the Peach Bowl, and Bama's going to win the Natty, and we're all going to kind of forget and be like, yeah, maybe the committee knows ball and actually made the right choice. And thank God this is the last of it. And, you know, from a Buff standpoint, was part of me thinking like, oh, this might just accelerate FSU's unhappiness in the ACC and make them want to go for a conference like the Big 12? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why we need auto bids.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of think the G5 auto bid, that might get yanked really soon.
Yep. Now, this Liberty-Oregon game now?
Yeah, no one
If you're
cares
an
about
Oregon
that.
player, how do you feel about that?
Well, and if you look at how the 12 team would have played out, like basically LSU or Penn State don't make it in so that the G5 Liberty team can make it in.
Yeah.
I don't know that Liberty was worthy this year. I hate that Arizona would have been left out this year too.
Yep.
That's like the team I would have wanted to see in the playoff. So
They've been fun.
All-time day for debate, though. All-time day. And selfishly, I gave out Bama. I had futures on Washington to win the Pac-12 that hit. So
well
great
done.
day. I placed some Bama to make the playoffs bets earlier in the week. Those all hit. So great betting. So I feel for you, FSU, but I definitely benefited from your demise. And I'm not sorry for that.
I don't think we have... I'm sure there's some people in the chat that feel some sympathy, but I think there's a lot of people who took joy in watching that over the weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I don't know. Personally, I think I would have put Georgia in over Alabama just because they've been the best team in college football the last 2 years. And
They just beat them, though. That's impossible.
I know,
you can't
but
do that.
like, we know that they're definitely one of the best teams in the country at the same time, too.
They're no doubt one of the best four.
So...
So if Georgia's in, and Bama at that point has to be in. There's not one without the other. Texas, Washington, who would you excluded?
No, see, like, this is...
Oh, just saying. That's what it would have come down to.
Probably would have left out Washington in that scenario then. You can't have Alabama in and Texas not be in my opinion. The head-to-heads have to mean something.
They won't anymore.
If we get rid of what head-to-head matchups mean, then what are we talking about? And I guess I'm being a little...
sure. I think it is also fair to say, like, that Alabama team that they beat is a far different team now than they were.
That's true.
Which, like, doesn't mean anything. It also means that Texas team had, like, what they showed us early in the year. Mm-hmm. I think they've proven out to be correct. Like, they're nasty in the trenches, and they've got playmakers that can go up with any single team in the country.
Yep.
And when Quinn Ewers is playing, I mean, it's outstanding.
It's true, man.
But they overcame his injuries. They overcame injuries to Jonathan Brooks, who top back in the country by some at a certain point. So it's tough, though. I mean, no year like this year really accentuated 4 spots isn't enough.
I mean, it never was enough.
No, it
ever.
wasn't. It was.
This was a Band-Aid the entire time. I can't believe we've gone 10 years with this format.
They always got bailed out. The field always kind of bailed them out.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd happen again. Like, I thought Texas or FSU or maybe both would lose. Mm-hmm. They didn't get bailed out for once. Louisville also, like, way to shit the bed.
What an opportunity. Just
gross, Louisville. Disgusting show.
Just expose yourself as a fraud, basically.
Yeah, like, come on. That was... Ugh.
I don't know. Great year one under Coach Braun, right?
Oh, my God. Great year. Great year.
Got to be better, though.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's get into this portal discussion.
Okay.
I picked out 10 targets.
We're ready.
For Coach Prime and the Buffs.
Yes.
Yep, 10 of them. And we start right now with the top available player in the portal. Walter Nolan.
Yes.
Former Texas A&M defensive lineman, listed at 6'4", 285. Last year at 37 total tackles, 8.5 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks.
Yeah.
He is rated a 5-star transfer right now, according to 247 Sports. Let's go back to that the 2021 recruiting class, or 2022 recruiting class, where Travis Hunter was the number 1 overall recruit. Ended up flipping from Florida State to Jackson State to go play for Coach Prime. Walter Nolan was the number 2 recruit. Travis was the only player in front of him in that class, and we know how good Travis is.
Well, we remember that historic Texas A&M recruiting class,
Exactly.
you know, best of all time he was the top dog of all of those.
Yep.
And I mean, just as a sophomore on a down season for an A&M, already 8.5 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks. Not bad for an interior defensive lineman from Powell, Tennessee.
Yep. Of course, we don't really have or know who. I guess we do have a defensive line coach, Coach Sal, but we're kind of in flux here with the Coach Sapp thing, with Nick Williams and what's going on. So,
right.
But this is a guy, I'm sure every team who is interested in any type of defensive lineman help has reached out to this guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
He played pretty well as a freshman last year as well. Played in only 10 games, still had 29 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for a loss and a sack, along with a forced fumble.
Kind of a guy, he's what, 6'2", 290, 6'4", 285, like inside, outside guy.
Yep.
Three-man front, could definitely play that defensive end spot. He's going to have some real mobility and agility for an interior guy, a little more of a slender, downhill, one-gapping penetrator.
Next guy, R.J. Oben, played at Duke last year. I'm assuming he's entering as a graduate transfer.
Yes,
he's played a lot of football.
He's had like a COVID year. He's like 5 years into his career, yes.
6'4", 260, plays on the edge. Only played in 7 games in 2023, but has had 14.5 sacks over the last 3 seasons.
Yep.
I'm sorry, he played in 12 games last year, only had 7 solo tackles, only 17 total tackles last year. But, I mean, he's getting in the backfield. He's got production.
He does, and he's had consistent production over several years. And he's a grown man. Like, that size on the edge is not...
Right.
That's probably, 30 pounds heavier than Jeremiah Brown, for example?
JB, yeah.
JB, yeah. So
next guy...
Yeah, who you got next on the list?
So next guy I have on my list is Toriano Pride.
Corner, Clemson.
Yes, played cornerback for the Clemson Tigers. Was a 2022 recruit, 247 Sports Consensus 4-star, 80th overall player, 8th overall cornerback, 5'11", 185, out of East St. Louis, Illinois. He's only played a bit, but he has played in 26 games over the last 2 years. Only had 14 tackles this year, 1 tackle for a loss. He did still have 4 passes defensed, so he's able to get on-ball production.
And, I mean, that's a stacked secondary. There's a couple of the top defensive backs coming into this NFL class, with Nate Wiggins being one of the top 2 or 3 corners. They've got one of the top safeties as well. Number 1, I forget his name. So, they're deep. They're stacked in that secondary.
And, I mean, you look at the secondary and how it's shaped up right now. Of course, you got Travis, Cormani, probably projected to be your 2 starters next year. But they had cornerback depth problems this last year. The Buffs did.
Second half of the season got pretty rough.
Pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah, so, he'd be nice. What's his hometown again?
East St. Louis, Illinois.
Oh, right. Okay. So, I mean, whatever.
And I guess, I mean, there's still many names and many positions to go through here, but I guess the point I wanted to make was this team needs help, I think, still at almost every position. Like, you can't turn down legitimate prospects at any position for this team. I know we need to emphasize the trenches and the front 7 on defense, but this is just how the team is going to work. You're going to need instant contributors everywhere, and they're going to go through the portal and get them.
Yeah, I mean, you just need more depth, more talent, more high-end starters. Like, you just need to get this program to the next level by adding talent consistently everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who you got next?
One of the top players to enter the portal today, and that is former Ohio State wide receiver Julian Fleming.
Yes, he was a big deal coming out of high school.
Yeah, in 2020, he was the 3rd overall recruit, number 1 overall wide receiver. He's actually listed on 247 Sports Composite, 82nd overall recruit ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, he's 6'2", 210. He was starting as the 3rd wide receiver at Ohio State behind Michael Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, 2 guys who are going to be top 20 picks in the NFL. And, yeah, I mean, he was getting consistent play. had some targets. Like, you even watch him in the Michigan game. He's getting targeted, had an unfortunate drop. Like, the size is there. I don't know that he's looked super explosive, but,
Yeah.
you know, he would have been next up at Ohio State next year.
For sure.
And Kyle McCord, obviously, is with him, it's harder
What's
to
going on over there?
perform. Yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
Gotta ask the question.
82nd greatest recruit of all time. He's transferring out when you're losing 2 guys to the NFL and you're starting quarterback. Wow.
Terrible.
I mean, is Ryan Day's job even safe?
Just
Many are
apart.
asking. Yeah.
Falling apart in Columbus, man. It's over.
It is, yeah.
2-win season incoming.
Probably, actually.
Julian Fleming, 6'2", 205. This guy's actually played quite a bit of football going back to 2020. This is, doing math on the air, 38 career games played in.
Wow. That's good math on the air. Not a grad transfer. You'd have 1 year of eligibility still.
He was listed as a senior last year, so I don't know if he is or not.
So grad, probably.
But he is a 2020 kid, so I don't know if he's got that COVID year or not as well.
Pennsylvania boy.
Yep. So 2 years ago, or we're in that weird part of the season where I don't know. The 2022 season.
Yeah.
Actually had a decent season. 34 receptions, 533 yards, and 6 touchdowns. This last year, though, only 26 receptions, 270 yards, no touchdowns.
The year he had the good season, that's where Jackson Smith and Jigba's injured some. But he's still fighting playing time with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Buka. He'd be a really, really intriguing reclamation project. And a great fit to kind of fill in for Xavier Weaver, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right,
Kinda
like
that
your
bigger
bigger
receiver role.
outside, like doesn't need to be a burner necessarily, just like that sturdy outside wide receiver who's going to open everything up for the playmakers and the other spots.
I've got another bigger wide receiver here, Will Shepard out of Vanderbilt, 6'3", 190. He's played also quite a lot of football.
Yeah.
I think that's about 40 career games he's played in since 2020. He was listed as a senior last year. 47 receptions, 684 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He's got over 2,000 receiving yards, over 150 receptions, and 20 touchdowns in his college football career.
Yeah. Young man from Louisiana, 6'3", 200. I mean, he's got the size as well. He kind of fits that bill.
Yep. And then the next guy I got here on my list is linebacker Chris Paul Jr. out of Arkansas.
Yep.
From Crisp County High School in Cordell, Georgia. 6'1", 233. Is what he was listed as a recruit. 6'1", 240 now is what I've got.
Yeah.
Was only a 3-star recruit back in that 2021 class, but has been pretty productive for the Razorbacks. Last year played in 11 games, 74 total tackles, 6.5 TFLs, and 2 sacks. And
got some freshman all-SEC love. I mean, guy who's popped for sure.
And look, I know, again, offensive line priority number 1, defensive line priority number 2. I'd probably say linebacker is number 3.
You could almost say linebacker, tight end as some like co-needs, depending on, what's the scheme. Like,
right.
Obviously, if you bring a coordinator who might not even use a tight end that often, then maybe that's less of a need. But yeah, this really feels like a prime recruit in the portal,
I mean, it's kind of reminds me of Jordan Dominic last year. Same thing, coming out of Arkansas, was a guy who had the numbers to back it up.
Very Alton McCaskill profile as well.
Right. Came to CU. I think we all would have liked to see more out of JD, but I think he also played his role pretty well.
Yeah, totally. JD's a tough one to evaluate for me last year.
Yeah, I mean,
impressed and disappointed.
He's going to get a shot. He'll have scouts' attention at Pro Day, and I'm sure he'll get a look in a camp 100%. At least, if not being drafted. Next guy, another wide receiver, Josh Kelly out of Washington State. Actually, former Fresno State wide receiver, played there from 2019 to 2022. Had a really good season in 2021, and then last year was Washington State's leading receiver. 61 receptions, 923 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Listed at 6'2", 182. But just another guy, again, like a veteran, bigger bodied type dude, just to
great profile,
help round out the receiving core.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone that I've said also to this point is a 4-star transfer according to 247 as well.
Yep.
Including this guy, Vanderbilt defensive lineman Nate Clifton. Listed at 6'5", 280. That's a big boy.
Not bad.
12 games played, 30 total tackles, 7.5 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 1 interception last year.
Productive.
Pretty damn productive. Vanderbilt has also had I don't want to call it an exodus because I do think a lot of these guys are grad transfers, though.
Right.
So they were done.
Right.
But he is another one of those Vanderbilt kids who's entered the portal.
Yeah,
and then
hopefully can win a little more.
For sure. Final guy, Dre. Do you want to say his name?
Oh, man. Aeneas Peebles?
Aeneas Peebles.
Aeneas? Aeneas, there you go.
Aeneas Peebles.
Duke defensive tackle. Lineman. Let's
Duke
say.
defensive
Duke
lineman.
defensive lineman, yeah.
Listed at 6'2", 280. He's listed as a 3-star transfer. Was a 3-star recruit back in the 2020 class out of Knightdale, North Carolina. He's played in 12 games last year, 40 tackles, 8.5 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 2 passes defense, and 1 forced fumble. I think that CU could use that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of the game here is seeing really who are all the, especially in the trenches, all the guys available and who do you really want to target, you know? It's because there is only so many spots and you really got to make the best of them.
Exactly. So there's 10 names for right now. There's obviously a lot more that are going to be entering the portal that already have entered the portal. I think we're up to 360 some guys who have entered the portal. And that was just when I saw it this morning.
Yeah.
So there's probably at least another 20, 30, 40 who have entered the portal at this point.
No, they've added so many since RK and I did this last Monday.
Yeah. And then there's just a lot more that's going to happen. I think it was like 3,000 players entered the portal last season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we are just getting started. The quarterback market's been fascinating, though. And I think that just because CU is obviously pretty set at starting quarterback,
Yep.
they've got a pretty big advantage, I think, over a lot of teams right now.
I know, it's nice. And Duke, like A&M, is going to be a really interesting team in the portal because they just lost their head coach to A&M. And like Riley Leonard, where might all these Duke transfers go? Will they follow their coach to A&M? Will they go other places? There's a lot of hot spots. Dante Moore is interesting on the transfer portal. There's a lot, man. There's a lot.
Aiden Childs, that was the big Oregon State commit that they got last year. I think he's already crystal balled to MSU, which isn't surprising.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's going to be a lot.
There's another portal entry. I saw it in the chat, so shout out to you guys. But Colorado wide receiver Shanae Estes has entered the portal now, too.
Wow.
Shanae Estes was a guy who, honestly, kind of popped, made some plays, just watch him well off and stuff over the offseason. In spring ball. I don't think he even saw the field during the season,
I
though.
don't remember him at all.
He's got 3 years left.
Okay.
So that brings us up to 8, 9 total entries at this point.
Keep them coming. Free up those spots.
There's going to be many, many more to come.
Yeah. I did see there's none of the guys who are transferring out from Colorado in the top 100 on this transfer portal.
Yeah, funny how that works. Huh?
I didn't notice any, so interesting.
But Boulder's burning.
Because it's so sunny today, it might be.
guess.
It might be that high altitude sun. You got to watch out. By the way, could you imagine this weekend being in Columbus visiting the Buckeyes when we had this gorgeous weather here? Gorgeous.
I know.
Perfect. I was walking around like this. This was the outfit. I was walking outside.
I walked into the office today with like this, no jacket.
Oh, man.
I was holding the jacket.
Yep.
I was like, I don't even need this right now.
It's Beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Colorado,
Early December. Man. Don't even need a jacket.
Pretty undefeated when it comes to that department.
Incredible.
All right. Shout out to our friends at Shady Rays.
Let's go.
I know. Because
I gave you the transition right
because
there.
the weather's so beautiful out here, make sure you have your Shady Rays ready to go.
Yeah, you have to.
Shady Rays is the best. They offer sunglasses with extremely strong frames and clear polarized optics. Every single pair backed by their lost and broken replacement. Even if you don't like your Shady Rays, you got 30 days to exchange them. No questions asked. You can shop their entire collection at the Park Meadows Mall or go online to shadyrays.com. They've got tons and tons and tons of combinations. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the promo code DNVR, and you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. And try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Yeah, they rule.
And then I think that's it. We're good for today.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
No, we're good.
Good. Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome. That's good stuff right there.
What's up, chat?
How's everyone doing today? Having a normal one, I'm sure.
Curtis says Jake got the dancey fade for the portal opening. I see you home and he appreciates you, bro. Thank you.
Was it coordinated for the portal opening?
No.
Yeah, no. Guys, we're just not scheduled like that.
It's just been something I've been trying to do like the last week.
Right. You just had time this week.
And I woke up today and I was like, you know what? We can actually make this happen before work.
I love that. Yeah.
Made it happen.
Yeah. Thanks to all those Colorado kids for transferring out in the afternoon. That's great.
Yes.
Very nice of them.
I'm sure there's many more to come too. Thrift Remix. When are the new coaches going to be announced? I wish I could tell you, my man. I don't know. I really don't. I guess to put things in perspective, it was just today where Coach Prime had his introductory press conference last offseason. 1 year ago today. So we've got a little bit of breathing room. Things will get figured out. I don't think that, they're scrambling in the Champions Center. Shit, who's going to be our OC this year?
No, definitely
there's got to be plans in place. Well, you'll hear about them when they're ready.
And if you are looking at some coaches, I don't know. For example, their defensive coordinator coached at Alabama,
Right.
If they were looking at coaches like that with schools who are coaching at schools like Alabama,
they're still coaching. You
have to wait a smidge before.
Yes.
So that's why Colorado's coaches can talk because their season's over and go to Syracuse, or as some of you are convinced, Louisville still. I don't know if you want to share that graphic, Alyssa.
Can you pull that one up, Alyssa? So people,
it's important to Jake.
Yes, so that people stop saying it's Louisville when there it is. That is Coach Nick Williams with the Syracuse.
Yeah, that's his account.
There it is.
Twitter, yeah. Okay.
Star James's comment. I'll respond to that.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. All right, who's up? Arvada Luke with the super chat says, do your part. This is our part of the season, baby. All my CU winnings went to 5430 Foundation, and I'm showing all the love to all the portal dogs on X. Do your thing, Buff Nation. Now it's on us. Well said, man.
Beautiful.
I mean, RK posted the tweet today of what Coach Prime said after the Utah game, along with what Coach Mora said at his press conference. If you want these players, you kind of got to step up to the plate. You got to help recruit. You got to donate to the collectives.
Time is now.
That's just how it works in college football now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Jay says, this is all you. Read this for us.
Oh, okay. Andre 3000, that's Andre 3000. Cosa ne pensi della prestazione di Capitan America contro il Ghana? So what did you think of the performance of Captain America against Ghana? Inoltre, tuo padre ti amerà qualunque sia la squadra del Milan che tifi. Okay, and then so he's asking me how was Captain America against Ghana, and then he says, Your father will love you no matter what Milan team you root for. I didn't watch Captain America against Ghana. I wasn't watching American soccer, but I did see him this Sunday or Saturday for Milan. He scored an epic goal. So Christian Pulisic still doing his thing, no doubt.
There you go. And that is your Andre Simone Italian update of the show. Right. Christopher says, any word on if Charlie will get any playing time next year? I mean, it's too early to say at this point, but
need to know the OC, what other running backs will be added to the mix and all that before we can really say, yeah.
I mean, we're still big Charlie fans. Charlie's going to get plenty of work throughout this whole spring football thing again, too. So he will have his opportunity, no doubt.
No doubt.
Shelly says, why do they only let one coach be in a primary recruiting role? Shouldn't it be 2 coaches per recruit to prevent these types of situations? It's just, I don't know, just kind of how it works. Like, coaches are familiar with certain areas. They have these relationships with high schools, players through 7-on-7, all that stuff. So it's really just the relationships of it all.
Yeah.
When I understand what you're saying, like, why wasn't someone else there recruiting Nick Williams or recruiting KingJoseph Edwards with Nick Williams? Right. But it's like, that's probably the tie that even got CU in the door to begin with. So once that goes, it just happens.
Yeah, it's just part of the game.
Yep. What's up, Will? He asks, how do you feel about my Wolverines having to go up against Nick Saban and Bama? I feel great. Michigan's still rightfully ranked number 1, as they should have been this entire season. They are the best team in the country, and I stand by that.
Yeah, no doubt. I like Bama, though. I like Bama.
Do you?
I do.
I don't know, man. Quan So Spiritual says, why leave CU for Syracuse? Isn't that a basketball school? Again, it's the relationships, man. What was his name? Fran Brown?
Fran Brown.
Hired to be the head coach at Syracuse. The Georgia defensive coordinator? Is that right? Is that what he was?
That sounds right, yeah. And I mean, look, Syracuse under Dino Babers just 6 years ago was making a little noise.
Yeah.
It's coaching, you know how it is. You just got to move around.
Nick Williams, let's see. So he joined from Texas A&M, but before that, he spent 3 years at Georgia, which is where that relationship comes from. It's just how it all works, man.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I've definitely learned the most over the last year and a half or so is how much relationships actually matter with the coaches and how these staffs are built and come together. It is kind of a, I don't want to say it's, what's the word? What's the word when you like just hire your friends and stuff?
Oh, shit.
It's not just that, but it's a large part because of that. That's how these staffs are made.
Yeah.
Nepotism? Thank you, Alyssa.
Yes.
It's not nepotism specifically, but I mean, these guys hire their friends all the time. That's just what they do.
It's the business. It literally is the business, yeah.
5280 Ivan says, how long before we hear some positive news coming from CU? I'm sure we'll get something somehow this week. Coaching announcement, commitment announcement.
It's a whole off season. Good news is coming, you know.
I mean, look, we are in a much better spot than last year, and this time last year, the whole recruiting class was basically like had their offers nixed,
right?
And they had to start over again with 2.5, 3 weeks till signing day. So, Shelly again, does every player who enters the portal believe that they will be a starter at their new team? Players enter the portal because they are afraid they are being. That's it. That's a big problem with the transfer portal. These kids kind of overestimate their talent.
Yeah.
Overestimate the depth of the portal at this point. And it just happens. I mean, what's the stat? Like 60, 50% of the kids who enter the portal and don't come out? Like an overwhelming majority?
Yeah.
It's
a problem right now, man.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. They're going to figure it out. Hopefully all this recruiting stuff settles down a little bit because it's a smidge excessive. But yeah, I mean, as I was pointing out, none of the guys who are leaving CU appearing in the top 100 of most of these trackers.
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
the turnover may be for a reason.
All right. James asks, how do I feel about the current situation? Honest opinion. Just kind of pulling everything I've said today. Again, this time last year, we were much worse off. We had a lot of excitement because the hire was just announced.
Yeah.
But there was hardly any like momentum with recruiting. You had all 1-11 players on the roster. Like we didn't even go through that whole exodus yet. Like the roster didn't even really get a chance to be better. So look, Shador's still on the team. Travis is still on the team. Coach Prime is still the head coach. There's a lot to still be excited about. It's a great start, and it's a lot more than many other teams could say at this point. They know who their best player is, and they know who their quarterback's going to be. And they have a head coach who is one of the best recruiters in the game. So look, it's not all going to be, roses and flowers in the offseason, especially during this portal period. But you got to go through the negative part of it to come out on the other side.
Right. Right.
There's going to be more players that enter the portal. It sucks not getting recruits sometimes that you had all this momentum for, and a coach leaves and it just ends like that. But more coaches are going to come in. This is Deion Sanders we're talking about, man. Guys are going to want to come coach for him. Guys are going to want to come play for him.
No doubt.
And I have no doubt in my mind this team and this roster are going to be much better come August when everything is settled than it was before last offseason.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put it all in perspective. I think it's early to jump to any conclusions, right? Just see how it plays out. See how it plays out first. Then let's draw our conclusions.
Jamal Powell says, did we lose any strength and conditioning coaches? Not that I know of right now. But again,
anything's possible.
And look, Coach Mo is a very well-known, very established strength coach.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that any other guys who come in and coach under him are going to be highly coveted and probably offered promotions to become strength coaches or just higher-ranking assistant strength coaches elsewhere.
Right. Right.
These are good problems to have.
Best problems to have.
Yes.
In many ways.
Yes. What's up, Big Cheesy? Jalen says, last year you were taking chances on potential to fill the roster. Now you know who's who, and you fill the needs now and hope the ones that stay make improvements.
You're not necessarily just building from the ground up, and that's the coaching staff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel you've got a lot more established, and now you're just making some additions, some tweaks, finding a new OC, maybe upgrading one from within, that kind of thing. Like it's not as much of a square one rebuild. You're right.
And look, RK says it all the time. Don't break a sweat on the escalator. We're in a much better position than we were last year. Things are going to get better.
Right.
It's, the headlines are going to be the headlines. People are going to freak out over everything that happens at this school.
Absolutely. That's the deal.
But just maintain that perspective. Realize who the head coach and who the quarterback is. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good show today, I thought.
Good show. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
We'll be back tomorrow. RK will be gone tomorrow as well. But then on Wednesday, we are going to have some guests.
Wow.
Some fun guests.
Oh, my gosh. Fun guests.
Do you know what happens on Thursday?
What happens?
The Coach Prime documentary comes out.
Oh.
I'll leave it at that.
Oh, wow.
See you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.